So the question is, why are Bengalis so famous for doing black magic? So this is Animesh Roy, who's a professor at the Keck Graduate Institute.
Ah, Keck.
He says, yes, of course they do. Just don't visit any Bengals home after midnight. You might see them raising the dead from their eternal sleep and then cavorting with them by dancing and drinking. This goes on until the first light of day. They also know a trick by which any unwary visitor never remembers anything that happened there after daylight comes, just like how one cannot remember what happens after a colonoscopy. The trick, of course, is to just go there and enjoy the drinks, if you like to drink.
So they just party hard.
What do you mean they? This is my people.
Yeah,
We party hard every single night, which like is really exciting. Like I just didn't.
You party so hard you raise the dead.
Yeah, we party so hard we raise the dead. We out here every day. It's so funny because like my experience of that, I suppose, is well, my mum never quite getting over the musical stylings of a man who died in the 1930s.
Yeah.
Dad.
Bendranoff. How we love you.
You know, he's out there.
I mean, you know, people are entitled to their sexual proclivities. You know, I mean, let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom. But I ain't spending any time on it. But I ain't spending any time on it. But I ain't spending any time on it. Let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom. But I ain't spending any time on it.
Hi, Arnie.
Hi, Ciaran.
Hi, Casey.
Hi, Ciaran.
And the two of you?
Oh, hey, Casey.
Hi, Annie.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Welcome back to Shouldntacome. This is an Australian culture, history, and politics podcast by a couple of queers just trying to get to the bottom of all this.
Quoting my neighbour, that's quite broad.
We're about to get even broader. Today we'll be looking into a handful of Australian conspiracy theories and mysteries and deciding how plausible they are.
Oh, yeah.
Casey, are your ears okay?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Yep.
Hey guys, you
hey,
okay?
Archie.
I'm sorry, I was about to say I'm feeling really high energy. I'm like really excited for this episode.
I'm glad. You should be.
Kieran's
Yay,
been
even
fucking
better.
gremlin mode on the chair. Fucking, oh Archie, yeah, have a sniff of everything, cuz
Hey,
I'm
Squatchable.
gonna keep all this audio in. I'm so sorry, this is my
stinky
fault. I was just
boy.
really excited. Buddy,
Archie,
get out of
back
here.
to bed, Stinky. Back to bed, Archie. Go on, bud. Back to bed. All done.
But she was screaming.
No, all done. Come here. Come over this way.
I can't.
Come,
I'm
back
stuck.
it up. You can do it.
It'll be fine.
Still here. If anybody cares. Gosh, where was I at? Yeah, so we're going to be looking at these conspiracy theories and mysteries and deciding how plausible they are or what we think might have happened.
Ooh.
So before we go any further, if you like what we do here and would love to hear more, or maybe even send us a cheeky bit of cash, you can follow us at Patreon at patreon.com/shouldntacome. That's SHOULDNTACOME. You can also contact us by email at shouldntacome@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel also has episodes of the podcast available, and you can find that at youtube.com/shouldntacome. And if you like music, and it's really weird if you don't, a demo of Yanni's album is available on Bandcamp at YanniX, that's YANIX.bandcamp.com.
Hell
Okay.
yes.
That was great.
I actually wrote an intro this time because I was like, don't fuck it up.
Jeff Bezos famously doesn't like music or like
Bezos?
Yeah, he's like, I just don't get it.
Wait,
Well, yeah, because he's fucked in the head.
isn't it Bezos?
Oh, I don't respect the man enough to know how to say
Is
his
this a
name.
conspiracy theory is actually made of
Dun,
bees?
dun.
Jeff
Bezos.
Bezos.
All right, so Yanni and Casey.
Hello.
Hi.
I've devised something I like to call the fair dinkum rating, by which we can discuss the likelihood of these conspiracy theories being true.
Fucking hell yeah.
What's the opposite of fair dinkum?
Oh, don't worry. If you can go to your next slide. In order of most likely true to impossible, your options are as follows. Fair dinkum.
I would describe him absolutely though as fair dinkum.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, you're not saying anything.
Not saying anything.
Yeah, nah.
Okay, yeah. No, bullshit.
And crock of shit.
Ho, fucking ho, what a crock of shit.
I I love it. I love
That's
it.
amazing.
So I
Fair
will
dink-
be asking you, as we discuss these theories, what your opinion is, and I'd love for you to be able to give a rating on the scale.
And so we are rating the plausibility of the conspiracy. So
Yes,
we're
and
to
whether
say,
you believe it.
Okay, so if I say fair dinkum, that's
You're
me
like,
saying
yes,
the
absolutely
conspiracy
true.
you described is what happened.
Yes.
If I say crock of shit, that's me saying I believe the official line like a coward.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, beautiful. That's fantastic.
Great news. All right. So, are you ready to get into our first one?
Of course.
So ready.
Okay. The first conspiracy on our list is a pretty well-known one in Australia, featuring a prime minister of this great land. You already know what it is, so please go to your first slide. That's right. In 1997, Scott Morrison shat himself at an Engadine Macca's.
This is a conspiracy theory that I've obviously heard this one before. Casey, have you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and my instinctual reaction is to just give this a big fat fair dinkum.
I also give it a fair dinkum.
I got
Fair.
a big throbbing veiny fair dinkum.
I bet.
On this
I bet.
motherfucker.
Well, before you make any decisions,
Okay.
let's look at the
Sorry.
facts a little
Okay.
bit. Of course.
I'm just
of
really
course.
passionate about this one.
Would either of you like to read out what's on the plaque that's outside the Engadine McDonald's?
It was at this spot in the evening of the 20th of September 1997 that Scott Morrison defecated in his pants after the Cronulla Sharks lost the Super League Grand Final to the Brisbane Broncos 25-8.
Yeah.
Damn, and it's on a trash can.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I would sell it as a piece of art for like millions.
Millions.
As you should.
Yeah.
All right. We have to go back in time a little bit. It's the 20th of September, 1997. It's the year Joke Rowling publishes her first Harry Potter book. The year James Cameron's blockbuster Titanic is released. And it's the year that Princess Diana dies in a Parisian car crash.
Princess Diana dead. Oh.
With Jamal Khashoggi's uncle.
Exactly. It's also been a pretty good year for the Cronulla Sharks. They end up second in the ladder. On this fateful day, the Sharks and the first-rank Brisbane Broncos are about to face off in the grand final to determine who is the best at leather egg toss. Scott Morrison is 29 and is heavily involved in tourism. Around this time, he's been the chief executive of the Australian Tourism Task Force and then also the general manager of Tourism Council of Australia, though I can't really say which one he was doing at the time. Yes, Yanni, you have a question?
It was a task force?
Yeah, it's a task.
fuck?
I don't fucking know.
What we got? Is he a commando?
Yeah, he's the tourism commando,
We're gonna get
which
people
wouldn't have
here.
saved him that night. So I'd love to say that the Sharks put up a fight in the finals, but I would be lying. The Broncos fucked them up silly style with a score of 26-8.
More like Cronulla Sharks.
You know, the Cronulla Sharks. Fuck. So the story goes, Scott and some mates drink and watch the game and are obviously not pleased with the result. To commiserate, they head to the closest McDonald's for some well-needed carbs and grease after such a hard blow. Truth.
Let me just. I'll open the door up
Oh,
so
thank you, my
he
angel.
can run out if he likes.
There by the grace of God goes he.
Godspeed, young man.
Godspeed. Godspeed, my boy. Drunk as a skunk, and as disappointed as that skunk's children, Scott lost all control of his faculties and proceeded to rip a wet shit directly into his expensive trousers. Unlike a lad I went to school with, whose mother kindly delivered him a fresh pair of pants after a shitty attack on a night out, one has to assume Scott had to wear his shame just as his beloved Cronulla Sharks wore theirs that same night.
My God.
So while I think this theory is plausible, after all, we've all known someone, or maybe been someone, who may have done a little bit of shitting while blind drunk. And given how much of a fucking loser Scott Morrison is, it's easy to believe that he's the kind of guy to shit himself in a Macca's, which isn't even a respectable place to shit yourself, I might add.
No, you've really fucked up if you've done that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the origins of this conspiracy come from a tweet made by a Sydney hip-hop artist, Joyride,
I'm rolling dicks, bitch, suck my dick. I'm getting
in August of 2018.
Scott Morrison shat himself at the Engadine McDonald's after the Sharks lost the grand final in '97.
That is the
That's
whole
just
tweet.
it. That is just this is my truth.
663 likes.
Yeah, so it was a slow burn to start, but as the meme grew in popularity, it broke online containment and became a thing actual reporters were actually reporting on. Scott himself addressed it for the first time in 2019, saying it would remain a mystery for the ages.
Just say it didn't happen, Scott.
In 2020, he addressed the theory on radio.
That is the biggest load of rubbish, that thing. I must admit, I've constantly been amused by how something like that goes viral. I sometimes joke with my staff, not that we can do it at the moment. Do you want me to pop into the Engadine Macca's just for a laugh? I've got no idea where it came from.
And finally, in July 2021, on the,
He doesn't really say it didn't happen.
No, finally in July of 2021, on the Rancid Kyle and Jackie O show, he had this to say.
It's the biggest urban myth ever. It is complete and utter rubbish. I found the whole thing incredibly amusing. I always joke about it. It is absolute and total rubbish.
All right.
Which is perfect when they put it on the trash can.
Exactly.
I mean, it's on the trash can. He keeps saying it's rubbish, it's an urban myth, which also isn't the term. For what it's worth, Scott Morrison is fucking weirdo.
Yes.
Just doesn't use the normal word, urban legend. But he still hasn't, I don't see in either of these quotes, in the literature that you've provided us, I don't see any reference to Scott Morrison claiming to have not done it.
He's not just saying, I didn't do it. He's like, walking around it.
He's like, it's rubbish. That could mean anything. It's rubbish. Rubbish is good. It's rubbish. Rubbish is real. It's rubbish. Is it not true?
Yeah, like he's acting like you blew it out of proportion, but it did happen.
In his head, it's like, it's rubbish because that's where I put it after I did it.
He's like, okay, I didn't shit myself. I squidded, and it was very, very contained.
He squidded himself out.
He
didn't
squidded.
shit. Yeah, and like, can you blame him for shitting himself? Yes.
Yeah.
And at McDonald's, absolutely.
Exactly.
Is it
on
more
now.
true because he was Prime Minister? Yes.
Now we're going to go to the fair dinkum ratings. So if you go to your next slide, you will have the fair dinkum ratings available for you again.
So handy.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure they were there.
Thank you.
So now that we've had a look at this case, what are you both thinking? Casey, would you like to go first?
Absolutely fair dinkum.
I would describe him absolutely though as fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum?
Yeah, he's full of shit. It's gonna come out sometime.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
I just want to elaborate on that. He was full of shit, but it did come out, and it was in that McDonald's in Engadine in 1997. 100% fair fucking dinkum. Scott Morrison shat himself. Everyone knows it. Everyone's talking about it. Scott, just say you didn't do it if you didn't do it.
And you heard it here, folks. Scott Morrison absolutely shat himself at the Engadine Macca's in 1997 without a shadow of a doubt.
Chateau.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It must have stunk.
I bet it did. Especially if they were drinking beer the night before.
I don't know what Engadine is.
Oh, Engadine. So it's in Sydney. My grandmother used to go to Engadine shopping centre quite frequently.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's kind of like more outer Sydney.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
She'd be like, well, I'm going down to Engadine. And I'd be like, what a funny name.
That'll never come up again.
We'll never need to know this. You ready for our second theory?
Absolutely.
Great. Now we're going on to another famous Prime Minister. Please check your next slide.
Oh, goody.
And yes, this time it is Harold Holt.
The disappearance of Harold James Potter Holt.
Sure.
It was aliens. It was aliens.
It was aliens. There should be a photo of Harold in an absolute fit and 4 other people.
Is my phone in black? No, this picture is black and
Yeah,
white
these
because
pictures
it's from a
are
long
black and
time
white
ago.
because they're old.
Wait, is he holding like a trident? What is he holding? Sir Harold Holt is wearing like a little fuckboy ass Twink Summer fucking swimsuit with a headband that I guess has a snorkel on it. He's got flippers on, and he's holding what looks like some kind of religious scepter.
Yeah, this is his spearfishing outfit.
Oh.
I just love how, like, in that era that short shorts were such a thing,
I
that
love
their
it.
swimsuits had, like, it's like the short shorts they wear out of, like, Friday the 13th. Like,
Yes.
the highest short shorts you can
It's
think
so-
of.
So good.
I'm seeing so much of Harold Holt's surprisingly well-toned thigh. Because this isn't like a young man, right? Like Harold
No,
Holt's
no,
in
he's
his
like in
50s or
his
something.
50s. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks pretty good for a guy in his 50s wearing this ridiculous outfit. Like, he looks like the picture of LeBron James photoshopped to look like a French maid.
Yeah, a little bit, hey.
But, like, if he was King Triton. His fucking spearfishing outfit. All right, so that's the first one. The next photo here, we got... Listen, it's like if the Beatles were Seinfeld. That's how I'm going to describe this.
That's pretty fair.
There's 4 people here. There's just like 2 dudes and 2 ladies, and they kind of just look like 2 dudes and 2. I don't know, Casey. What's going on here? What's like if you can imagine, like it's like the Beatles, but also like Matt Smith. Okay. So it's Ringo Starr, Matt Smith, and Elaine from Seinfeld.
I can definitely see it. Is this his family?
So, who you've got in this picture?
Who are these idiots?
Perfect. So the woman with the kind of like blown out hairdo and the sunglasses, I believe she's wearing in this photo.
We're gonna call her Elaine.
Her name is Marjorie.
Okay, we're gonna call her Marjorie.
The woman next to her is her daughter, whose name is Viner.
Viner?
Vyner.
Viner. Suck your blood.
Yeah. So, and the 2 gentlemen are Marjorie's friends, Alan and Martin.
So who is Marjorie to Harold? Is that his wife?
Let me
Is she an alien?
let me open my iPad. All right.
She's a margarine being.
Oh, she's not even real.
It's the 16th of December, 1967, and your name is Marjorie Gillespie.
Goodness me.
You and your husband, Wilton, are relaxing at the beach when a familiar face approaches. It's your neighbour Harold, who happens to be the Prime Minister of Australia, and is also the man you've been having an affair with. You greet each other warmly and share a few drinks. Harold is on break from Prime Ministering, so he'll be around for a few weeks. His wife Zara, he says, has decided to stay in Canberra to organise Christmas festivities, so it's just him. You're relieved. Zara's eyes are too knowing, and sometimes you can't tell if she's laughing at you or if she pities you. So it's a good thing that she won't be around. Harold loves the beach, and he mentions wanting to see if he can spot Alec Rose, a solo circumnavigator, sail through the area tomorrow. You think that's a wonderful idea. So the next day, you, your daughter Viner, and 2 of your friends, Martin and Alan, meet with Harold and head to Point Nepean. It's mid-December, and the air is hot and the sun unrelenting. Your group can hardly even see the little yacht passing by, so you make the smart choice to abandon the mission. As you cram into the car and head towards home, Harold suggests stopping for a quick swim at Cheviot Beach. It's one of his favourite places to swim, so of course you indulge him. When you arrive, the swells are huge, and you once again make the smart decision to keep out of the water. Martin agrees, the waves are way too big, but Harold and Alan are all in. The 2 men wade into the ocean, but Alan can feel the surf is a bit strong for his liking, so he stays by the shore with his feet rooted to the sandy seafloor. Harold swims further into the tumultuous waves, and faster than you can comprehend, he's pulled further and further from you. You call out his name. The others in your group call for him as well. Between one blink and the next, you can't see him anymore. Much later, amid the whir of helicopters, the blaring of sirens, the chaos of questions, you'll describe it like a leaf being taken out, so quick and final. In the following years, you fade to the background. Back then, your name was in all the papers, and you were a woman of national interest and scandal. You and Wilton stay together, and you live quietly, and all your friends know not to mention the dead man between you. But the public speculates. Was it murder? Was it suicide? An assassination? Was he abducted by foreign powers? Did he defect? Did he even really die that day? Well, let's have a look at some of those theories.
Yes!
I feel like I didn't breathe. Oh.
Do you know how long the affair was?
Hard to say. Here's the thing about Harold Holt. He was fucking a lot of women.
Okay.
Oh no. Harold Bolt.
We'll get into it.
Harold.
He bolted.
He bolted. Harold, don't. That's the sound of the bedpost hitting the wall.
Yeah, so here's a fun fact that I haven't really written in, but is relevant. So Zara, his wife, knew about all of his affairs, but did that classic thing of, if I turn a blind eye, because he's not flaunting them in front of me, she's just kind of like, oh, he's fucking her, isn't he? Ugh.
And everybody knows
everybody knows that he fucks you. But they don't know. Because it's the 60s, she's like, well, if I acknowledge it, then I have to leave him. And then I have to raise 3 children by myself. And I don't want to do that. And she's like, and I do love him. Like, I wish he didn't do this, but I do love him. And, yeah, she doesn't really have a leg to stand on because she, of course, was, Harold is her second marriage, right? And in her first marriage, she had 3 children. So she had first son with her first husband, and then she had twin boys. And around the time her twin boys were born, her and her husband, they break up. And shortly after, she marries Harold. And that's because Harold is the father of the twin boys.
Oh, so she was already having an affair with
She
him.
was having an affair with Harold and then married him. So look, she knows that he's out there doing the dirty with, like, lots of women. And she's kind of like, I get it.
Wins.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, ain't that crazy?
So then they continue their affair, but she then marries someone else.
No, so this is Zara, Harold Holt's wife at the time he dies.
Right.
So she had an affair with him when she was married to her first husband.
So
and then they got married because she had twin boys and her husband was like, these aren't my fucking kids, are they? And she was like, oh, that's crazy.
No, they're the prime ministers.
But yeah, no, they were Harold's. And so they get married, blah, 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 blah.
And Harold's fucking a lady
But
on the
Harold's just
side.
having affairs wherever. Like, he just kind of does it.
Harold... let's go back to this picture of Harold Holt.
Yeah, have a look at him. Is that a man who fucks?
He definitely squats at the very least. Those thighs.
Yeah, he certainly squats. He looks like he, physically could. He doesn't look like a man who's interested in women. No, I don't. Wait, that makes it sound like I'm trying to say he's gay. He doesn't look like a man who's interested in other people.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a player. He doesn't have that vibe in that photo.
No,
Yeah.
he looks like a guy who's, interested in himself.
Yeah.
And so, in so much as other people can furnish his self-image. That is, however, from one photo of him in his spearfishing attire. So, but also, and this story of Harold Holt. Okay, yeah, right. Okay, so this is just like a complicated, tangled web of mysteries and intrigue and betrayal. And also, one of the people is the prime minister of the dumbest country that's ever been.
You know?
The stupidest excuse for national borders that anyone's ever drawn up.
So that photo that I showed you as well at the start of the 4 people, that's them on the beach after they've contacted the police to be like, Harold's gone.
Harold Holt, I remind you, this is the Prime Minister, Harold Holt has been swept out to sea.
You
I
know,
remind you, this man leads the country.
Harold Holt has left the coastline or whatever. So let's get into some of these theories.
Yeah, what's up?
All right, the first is murder. If the rumours about Harold's women-loving behaviour are true, there's likely a long list of men who might have been happy to see him go missing. It's interesting to me that Marjorie brought her daughter and 2 male friends along with her on this trip, which could mean nothing, but it does imply to me that she might not have wanted to be left alone with Harold. But again, could just be like a normal, regular thing. If we believe that the 4 who were with Harold weren't somehow involved in his death, then there would be no reason to lie. If we believe they did have something to do with it, then all their testimonies from the day are just completely useless to us. So, firstly, if they're telling the truth about what they saw, then it's like, okay, total accident. If they're not telling the truth, then we don't have anything to go off of because there was nobody else there.
Right, okay.
So that's another thing about Chevio Beach. It was generally kind of like a private beach, and Harold Holt, loved swimming there. He found, underwater sea wreckage and shit there from, I think it was a submarine, but maybe it was just a ship, the SS Chevio, which is why it's called Chevio Beach. So it's it's a whole thing. It's one of his, spots.
You know Harold, he's always at the fucking beach with the ship.
You know?
Nice. Everybody's got to have a submarine.
Everybody's got to have a submarine that they're fascinated about. That's a really good point about a lot of accepted wisdom in society. Is just there's 3 people who are the only ones who say that, and there is a way that they could all be conspiring.
You know?
Yeah.
So, murder, there's absolutely no way for us to know, really. Either we believe the 4 that were at the beach with him, or we don't.
Yeah. So I find it hard. So Marjorie's the one he's currently having the affair with. His
Yes.
wife is Zara.
Yes.
I don't see the motive of her wanting to murder him.
Yeah.
It's hard. Because, if it was the wife, you would think, yeah, I guess,
Okay,
she's
something
holding
there.
it. But, if you're just banging him. Like, is she, like, asking him to leave his wife and whatever? And he's just like, oh, no.
That's the thing. We just don't know. We only know that they were, like, having an affair. And
Yeah.
that only came out after people were like, hey, who the fuck is this woman that was with the Prime Minister when he died?
Yeah.
And everyone's just kind of like, oh, right, yeah.
So that wasn't-
they were also next door neighbors.
Okay, but
which
that-
is when their affair started, was because, like...
They live next to each other.
Yeah.
The classic story.
Yeah.
But, like,
But that wasn't known until, like, by the public until after he died.
Yes, Zara knew about it on a
Yeah.
private level because she was also like, I know you're fucking the neighbor.
I know you're fucking the neighbor. I know
I'm
you're
not
fucking
stupid,
the maid.
but, like, I'm Mrs. Prime Minister, so I'm not going to cause a fuss.
Right. Is this going to come up? Is there questions about blackmail?
There is some.
Okay. Like, rather than necessarily Marjorie having a motive, Marjorie being used by some kind of third party to influence Harold Holt. Where it's like, we'll reveal to the public that you're fucking Marjorie.
Which, again, I feel like probably would have been fine anyway, given it's the 60s.
yeah, I was going to say, it's much worse for your publicity to be like, oh, you probably murdered him, rather than you just
Versus
had
like,
an affair.
oh, you've been fucking.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next theory, which is suicide.
That sounds like fun.
I also think it sounds like fun. A lot.
As for the theory that Harold had chosen this as his final swim, many of his contemporaries spoke to how unlikely this was. Even his wife Zara, who knew about his multiple affairs but chose to turn a blind eye, said that he was far too selfish to end his own life. Everyone who knew him attested that this would be wildly out of character, and that, you know, Harold loved Harold the most.
I can see Harold loving Harold so much that he's like, oh, but this is just the waves. So I'm just like, I can't be defeated by this. I'm Harold.
Zara does think that the reason he went out into the crazy water to begin with is because Marjorie was there and he was trying to impress her.
Fucking Zara's a cold bitch. I love her.
You know,
I
she's
love
just
Zara
like,
Holt or
oh, I
whatever.
loved him, but he was an absolute dickhead.
He was an absolute dickhead.
Yeah.
I loved him for his tenacity.
She's like,
I
he's so
hated-
fucking charming. I fell for it, so I get why other ladies do. But he was an absolute fucking dick.
He's a problem and an idiot, and we shouldn't support this kind of behavior. Also, on the suicide idea, there is a part of me that thinks a lot of these kinds of dudes are constantly like edging suicide, like these thrill seeker types that
Yeah.
do shit like going into the waters,
Like a rush of that kind.
Yeah, I mean the rush. I think at the bottom of the rush is a desire for obliteration, and at the bottom of that urge to, you know, drive cars in the outback or just walk into the deathly ocean while it's angry, is just this yearning for absolution that they're also kind of too chicken shit because they do believe in themselves so much, as Zara sort of saying. But like, yeah, like I think Harold Holt seems like someone who is constantly putting himself in slightly dangerous situations,
Yeah.
just in hope that it goes badly.
So he's like on the fence between like absolute decimation and proving that he's unbeatable.
Exactly. Like, I mean, that's a prime minister of here.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can't be doing that and being like, I'm doing a good thing. Yeah.
No, Ron, you can't.
No, Harold.
No, Harold, you can't. You want to see me swim in the surf or not?
Not Harold.
Not Harold, me. All right, so the next theory that was kind of widely put around was assassination.
Hell yeah.
Rumours of assassination by the CIA were floated by the media, claiming that Harold was killed because he was going to take Australian troops out of Vietnam. Conversely, there was also rumours that he was assassinated by the Vietnamese because of Australia's participation in the war.
Great. So that kind of is the whole gamut.
You know, just like throwing ideas out there.
He was somewhere between pro-Vietnam War and anti-Vietnam War.
Exactly. And much like with the assassination theories, there are also abduction theories involving the US, Vietnam, and also, like, China. Sure.
Yeah, okay. Why not?
Thinking that, you know, he went out for a swim and then he just got, like, grabbed by agents and
Yeah,
they're like...
just in the ocean. There's just, you know, I mean, that's the thing. Xenophobia in this country is so crazy that people wouldn't question. Like, yeah, of course, there's just like...
Oh, the Chinese got him in the ocean.
You go too far out to sea, there's just divers from China.
You
They got
know?
so many people. They got people in the ocean just ready to snatch you. So that's why you have to go on a boat.
Speaking of China, a British journalist in the 80s claimed that Harold had been a Chinese asset this whole time and that his disappearance was him being recalled or defecting to China. He claims Harold would have been picked up by a submarine so it would look like he drowned. Criticisms of this theory include the fact that a submarine could not physically be as close to shore as Harold was when he disappeared. And Harold's wife Zara, who makes another appearance, says he didn't even like Chinese food.
That's...
What?
No, but that's something, he's undercover. So he's like, I can't let him know. They're going there for fried rice, and he's like, no, I fucking hate it.
Sounds like shit. And she's just like, Harold.
It's like, I don't care how succulent it is.
Oh my god.
So the final theory is that Harold faked his own death to run away with a lover. Given he'd had a lot of affairs over the years and hadn't done anything other than like kind of keep them from his wife, it doesn't really make sense to me that he would kind of throw away everything he'd kind of worked for to just like run away with somebody.
What
like,
if it was a guy?
I think this is my 35th Mardi Gras.
That makes more sense to me, but also what makes even more sense to me would be him just being like, yeah, cool, you're my secret little lover. I have a wife and I'm the Prime Minister. I'm going to get lots of money, and then I'm going to leave, and perhaps you become my very good friend, and we retire to the countryside. And my wife lives in the city, and she's like, oh, Harold's just out on the farm.
No, but he's one of these, like, risk-taker dudes,
That's
right?
true.
So he's not thinking about the long term. So he's, like, finally met the man that makes him feel the way he wants to feel. The way that he's been trying to find his whole life, he thinks, right? Like, I'm not saying necessarily, like, Harold has been closeted this whole time. He's just like, oh, my God, this experience, this is the one.
This is my person.
This is my person, and so this is my purpose. I'm going to run away with you.
Iconic. Now that we've kind of talked about all of that,
Yeah.
Yanni, Casey, what do you think happened to Harold Holt? And how do these theories rank in the fair dinkum ratings? So again, for the listeners, we have most to least likely, fair dinkum, nah, yeah. Tony, you're not saying anything. Yeah, nah. Crock of shit.
So, do you want to go through each of the theories and we can tell you our rating for each one? Or just overall, what
Just
do we think?
overall, you know, just give me your thoughts. What are you vibing? What do you think is most likely? And what do you think, like, what did you hear that was like, oh, I could see that, or like, absolutely not?
I think I am in the yeah-nah side of things, which is, again, just one above crock of shit. This is a beautiful chart. I do think Harold Holt, from what little I know about him, as a guy with an alliterative name, he seems like the type of motherfucker who would just go drown in the ocean. I don't... When it comes to the Vietnam War specifically, I've heard that doesn't make any... Why would they give a shit? Like, for all of the Red Gum songs they can sing, I don't care how old these boys were. There weren't many of them. It was mostly Americans. They don't care about Harold Holt. So I don't know what the Chinese are doing here. The lovers, like you said, the person who has the motivation is the one who's not there.
Yeah.
It's kind of backwards. It's like if you kind of know the story modelly, it makes sense. But when you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, well, then why would Marjorie and her friends want to kill Harold Holt? Really? That doesn't make any sense. Unless maybe, what if Harold was just like a dick to Marjorie?
You know?
Like, let's get rid of him. So yeah, I'm on yeah, no. Okay.
Alrighty, I think the murder is a crock of shit. I just think, like, he's, like, one step below flaunting his affairs, it sounds like. And I think he wouldn't have done that. I don't think his wife cares. Honestly, she probably was having an open relationship as well.
Probably. She seemed very chill about it. She was just kind of like, as long as like neither of us have to say anything to each other about it, then we can both be like, well, we're just happily married and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, they were probably like swingers or in an open relationship, but back in that time you just had to play it off. So I believe like she totally had nothing to do with it as well.
I'm gonna look up Zara Holt Young and see if she was like a baddie.
Please do, please do. I don't think he committed suicide. I do agree that, like, I feel like he lives off other people's validation and he has no sense of risk. So I think he was just a dumbass showing off and he jumped into the water that was too deep. Because I don't think he would have left for a lover. I think he probably gets off on the risk of having affairs and having them ride under everybody's nose while he's the Prime Minister. So even if it was a gay lover, I don't think he would have cared. I think he would have just, you know, held a secret.
This is
my buddy who I go and have a beer with and then go back to his house and watch footy.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't have run from that. So yeah, I think he's just a dumbass. He's just missing that part of his brain that's just like, oh, this is scary.
That survival instinct is just not there for him.
Yeah, so fair dinkum for a dumb shit.
Hell yes.
This might be a photo of Zara Bate at some point. How tall is her hair?
Yeah, she's got like that beehive with the fucking bangs.
Damn, go
Beehive
off
bangs.
plane.
Boots with the fur.
Beehive with the bangs.
Your husband drowned in the sand. No, don't worry. I couldn't figure it out.
I was gonna say, or the ghost of the submarine dragged him down.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
that's as likely as anything else is a supernatural explanation for this. I don't want to discount, however, the possibility that Harold Holt just decided that day that it was up. Like, driving around with his fucking, like, mistress and 3 of her friends. And just was like, I have to go back to be the Prime Minister tomorrow. I need to, like, go have the conversation with Zara that we have every time I come home from doing this, where we don't talk about it, but we talk about it, but we don't talk about it. And the fucking Vietnam War is going on and everyone hates me. I love to swim. I'm just going to keep swimming until I stop swimming. Like, a lot of suicides, for the very scant statistics we have of failed suicides, very few people try again. And a lot of people report, like, while they're doing it, they're like, fuck, I shouldn't have done this. It's often an impulsive action.
Yeah, they just hit a low.
They just
out of
hit a
nowhere.
low.
Yeah.
That feels like I could construct that. Like, he's like doing this for some kind of gratification and pleasure, but he's not getting enjoyment and happiness out of it anymore. And in the ocean, like, it sounds like he's really insisting, like, I want to go swim in the fucking shit-ass ocean. He's the Prime Minister. He can do that whenever he wants.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like he's having a great time.
That's something that could have happened. So, like, instead of, like, the murder theory, where, like, obviously she brought 2 of her friends and her daughter with him, what happens if they had, like, evidence of him doing something? They've, like, talked to him in the car about it, and then he's made up his mind in that moment, like, we know that, you know, like, you were a pedophile or something that was actually going to break him, and then he decided to go for the swim. And they basically said, you have to swim out there.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fuck.
Yeah.
I think there is, because, again, we just don't have a whole lot of evidence.
No,
like,
because we're not meant to.
No.
Because
Even though this is insane. Like, and another reason why we don't have a whole lot of evidence is that while Holt was in government, he wasn't interested in having, like, security or bodyguards or anything, right? Except then the opposition leader was nearly assassinated. And so then, like, the government was like, Harold, you have to have a bodyguard. And he's like, fine, I will have 1 bodyguard, but not when I'm not officially prime ministering.
Wait.
When I'm on vacation, I don't want anybody around.
Wait, sorry.
And so then he's on vacation and drowns. So
The opposition leader was assassinated?
nearly assassinated.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. I was like, wow, I feel like I should have known that happened at some point.
No, nearly assassinated. And that's when, like, the government was just like, okay,
Yeah, sorry to
fellas,
interrupt.
we can't just let you run amok like that anymore. We have to have eyes on you.
Wait, so where's the security guard?
Because,
He's on holiday.
yeah, so
Oh, right,
that's his thing. He was like, you can
freaking
have,
out about someone killing fucking Susan Lay or whatever.
you know? But yeah, he was basically like, look, yes, when I'm on duty and working as prime minister, I will have 1 bodyguard. You can give me 1 bodyguard. But when I'm on vacation, that's my personal time. And that's another reason why Zara's just like, yeah, so that no one would witness all the affairs he was having.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, I can't have fucking Jim coming with me to when I'm visiting baddies. I'm out here representing Australia. These women can't get enough of me. I'm walking down the street, tap, tap, tap on my cane, and these bitches are like, Harold! And I'm like, get in line, ladies. I can't have Jim over here, like, peeking behind trees with his sunglasses, pointing a pistol out, just making sure he's got
scaring the
snipers on.
hoes.
Jim is scaring the hoes. He's scaring the hoes, Zara. I can't let this keep happening. That's enough of this. Tell him to stand down when I'm not at work, Zara. He's scaring the hoes.
All right, so let's get out of the water and back on the sand. That's much better. Why don't we head over there and sit down and... Wait, oh my god. Is that guy okay? He looks like he's passed out. Fuck, he's dead. Fuck, he's dead. There's a dead body on the beach. Now, this is what I like to imagine passed through the mind of the members of the public who discovered a man's body on a beach at Somerton Park in Adelaide.
Well named for a woman.
On the 1st of December, 1948. The man in question was a complete mystery. No identifying documents, the labels of his clothing had been removed, and the only objects found on his person were a half-smoked cigarette, a pack of 7 remaining cigarettes that hadn't been smoked, an unused rail ticket, a bus ticket, a comb, a half-eaten pack of juicy fruit gum, and a small piece of paper ripped from the last page of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, reading, Tamam Shud, a phrase meaning ended or finished.
This is some scary shit.
That's Tamim and Shud case.
Oh my god.
You did it! Wow! And just look what you've done.
I would slap you if I wouldn't hit the mic.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
He didn't even get to finish his cigarette.
He had
so
7
sad.
cigarettes. That was the biggest tragedy of this.
7.5 cigarettes.
7.5 cigarettes.
Yep.
This is a motherfucker who's keeping half a cigarette and he dies.
You know, devastating stuff.
That's ridiculous. A juicy fruit?
Half a pack of juicy fruit gum.
He had half a pack of that juicy fruit.
Hell yeah.
And then he died on the Adelaide sand.
Boo.
Anyway.
Boo hiss.
He got there and he's like, this is shit.
This sucks.
He's like, I'm done.
Fuck, I hate Adelaide.
Throughout the investigation, the police made appeals to the public, traced the origins of his belongings to America and the UK, analysed his musculature and physical health for clues, and tried to crack a code left in a copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam found tossed through the open window of an unattended car in the area.
Just a crazy series of things to happen.
And that code is your next slide as well.
Oh, fucking hell yeah. Just like, as you were reading, it's like, man, there's so much going on.
It's quite a lot, actually.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. What do we got here? All right. Wargo Abab Watbim Panet Mliabo Ayak Titsum Sam Gab.
Perfect, you've cracked it.
I love Young Thug. Yeah, no, that's, and then there's a line that's kind of crossed out, the second line, because it looks like he started writing the third line, MLIAO, but then he realized that he had to write WTBIM first. You know,
the way you do.
What the big Italian monkey, or whatever, if it's an acronym. Yeah, this is just like a bunch of letters. They're not like, nothing's going on here that makes any sense to me. Like there's all lots of like W's and M's. Maybe they're all W's.
It's
what?
Like, he was just playing Hangman.
Solo Hangman.
It's just the top bit got ripped off.
And he's just
Solo
like,
Hangman. That's what a sad little thing. You're trying to like outsmart yourself.
You know?
Playing Hangman and you're guessing the letters. You're like, S. Yeah. How'd you know?
So also found in this book was a woman's phone number, and this led them to a local nurse, Jessica Thompson, who was evasive when questioned over the man's identity. She claimed she didn't know him, but investigators found her reaction to the questioning suspicious, as did her own daughter.
Did you find that noise suspicious that we just heard?
It was a little weird, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I heard that picked up in the... I mean, if you heard it,
It definitely
Casey, then
picked
it
up.
definitely picked up.
I was like, oh, that's a nice sound effect for a second.
Wait a fucking
That makes
minute.
it sound nice and spooky.
She was being elusive.
Over the next 70 plus years, hundreds of theories have been proposed as to the identity of the Somerton man. Was he a foreign spy? An immigrant from war-torn Europe? Or just some fucking guy? Let's investigate. Other clues to the man's identity included the name Keane, that's Keane, written on belongings found in a suitcase believed to belong to him.
I'm heaps keen to die on the
Heaps
beach.
keen. Autopsies conducted were a little weird. His organs were kind of fucked up in a way that the coroner didn't believe to be due to natural causes, suggesting he might have been poisoned. But no substances were detected in samples taken from him.
What do you mean his organs were fucked up?
They were like engorged and like fucked up in ways where they were like, damn, some shit's been in you, but
It's
like,
just lumpy.
you don't fucking know. Like they looked at him and they were like, well, that's not a natural death.
Damn. I'd always heard that he was in perfect health, but he was dead.
Like physically, like on the outside, like, yeah, he's like well built, like, you know, looks pretty good. No evidence of trauma or anything on him. But then when they cut open his organs, they were just like, why do these look like that?
Yeah, right.
Hey, King, why the fuck do your guts look like that?
And he's like,
You know?
Somebody's poisoned the juicy fruits.
They didn't test the juicy fruit. They all just had a juicy fruit. It's like, in related news, 7 police officers also died.
Yeah, it's got like radium or chlorine 68 in it or something.
So, possible identities of the Somerton man ranged all over the place. This includes some dude from Darwin, a missing worker from a steamship, Archie, a guy from Sweden, a traveller from Victoria, a sailor whose ship was docked at the time, and like heaps more.
Wait, there's theories that the Somerton man was docking?
Wow.
Just like...
Just a little. After 5 years of questions, police advised that they had been provided with the positive identification of the man over 250 times. So, like, from the time that they found him and were like, who the fuck is this guy, to like 5 years later, 250 different possible identities had been suggested to them and been like, this is the Somerton man. And they're like, oh, again? Cool. But they couldn't prove any of them because a lot of these guys were just like dudes who were like just dead somewhere else. And people were like, well, my mate's been missing for about like 3 years. Is it this guy? And they're like, does your guy look like this? And they're like, maybe. It's like, okay, well, do you think it's him? And it's like, oh, maybe not. And it's like, awesome and cool. So, and then other times they'd be like, okay, we think we know who it is. We think it's... we think it's a guy named Rororo. And then Rororo picks up wind that people are saying he's dead in Adelaide. And so he has to come forward and be like, hey, I am alive. And the police are like, fuck!
No, bro, I just
and then they're back to square one. So, like, it's kind of, like, silly about how many different people the Somerton man has allegedly been.
I am the Somerton man.
Did he just have, like, a normal, unnotable face?
He kind of didn't, though.
All right.
But just wait for now.
Okay.
So, the longer time passed without a reasonable identification, the more conspiracy theories began about the man. If he was so hard to identify, maybe that was intentional. Could this man have been a spy sent to Adelaide to monitor the nearby uranium mines and military testing sites? His possible connection with Jessica the nurse was also explored, with potential identities named and then subsequently retracted when these men turned out to be very much alive. One was Alf Boxall, a man she had gifted a copy of the Book of Persian Poems that...
The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam.
That's right. She gave Alf a gift of the book years ago after telling him that she was going to be married. So they may have had like a flirtationship. Mm-hmm. Hard to say. Alf presented himself to the police after hearing that he was apparently dead. And this led to them questioning like, hey, why do you have this book? Why is her information in a copy of the same book? What's going on? And he did have to reveal that he was involved in military intelligence during World War II. And that made the police go, okay, is the dead guy on the beach also a spy then? Now, Jessica's own children suspected that she knew more than she let on. Her daughter Kate believes her mother and the Somerton man had been spies. Kate had seen her mother's interest in communism and also that her mother spoke Russian, but would never reveal how she'd learned it.
It's not like just... Oh, in school as a child. I won't tell you how I learned Russian. What do you mean? Like from a Russian teacher. I learned it.
You know? So Jessica's granddaughter, Rachel, believed the Somerton man may have been her biological grandfather, as did the researcher at the University of Adelaide, Professor Derek Abbott. In a weird twist, Derek and Rachel get married in 2010 after bonding over their shared obsession with the Somerton man case.
You get married? So the lady who thinks, oh, my grandfather was a Somerton man, help me research her. It's like, not only will I help you, will you marry me?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I know. In 2017, Derek is able to find viable DNA left in a plaster cast made of the dead man. He tests it against his wife's DNA. It is not a match.
They get a divorce.
Surprisingly, they do seem to be still together, which is kind of nutty.
I'm so glad that they found love and that it survived past neither of them being relevant for each other.
You know.
In the way that brought them together.
So, in 2019, the body of the Somerton man is approved for exhumation, and the researchers gather more DNA samples for testing. So they were only able to get like 3 hairs from the plaster cast, and they were like, this isn't really good enough, but it is good enough for us to be like, yeah, he's not Rachel's grandfather. Like, the DNA is just not the same at all. In 2022, Derek is still hunting for answers, and he announces that a new identification has been made. Carl Webb, an electrical engineer from Melbourne, is the new leading theory for the Somerton man's identity. A DNA study looking for links to current DNA results shows some links to distant cousins. That's like with modern ancestry and shit like that.
Yeah, with the panopticon.
You know? While there's only one photo of Carl found by investigators, they claim it as a strong match for the Somerton man. It's believed that after losing several family members over a period of 7 years, Carl spiraled into depression and may have chosen to end his life. Also in 2022, a new man has been named as a potential match by a different researcher into the case.
What?
This guy is meant to be an Austrian spy named, also Carl Josef Halben. And further information has yet to be revealed, but this is a different researcher also looking into the case and is like, no, it's not Carl Webb, it's Carl Halben.
You got the wrong Carl.
You got the wrong Carl, you fucking idiots. Anyway, so the next slide is a series of pictures. So on the left, you have a picture not of Carl Webb, but of his brother.
Right.
Because the only photo of Carl Webb we have is one where he's like in, you know, like he's 18 and in a big football photo, basically.
Okay.
Whereas his brother served in the military, so he had this nice, like,
Okay.
photo taken. The middle is the plaster cast of the Somerton man. I thought about putting the actual photos we have of the Somerton man in there, but, like, it's a bit grim just to look at the corpse, so that's his plaster cast.
However, that image is burned in my head.
You know? And then the one on the right is
The Austrian
Carl
guy.
Halben. So
Carl Halben looks like if you showed me these 3 photos, I would say the first 2, like, I would say that the guy on the right, Carl Halben, is an artist who made a cast of the guy on the left, Carl Webb, and the cast of it is in the middle, which is the cast of the Somerton man.
yeah.
Like, I would say that Carl Webb actually looks surprisingly like that cast of the Somerton man.
Yes. Like
Surprisingly so.
Yeah, like the resemblance is actually kind of fucking uncanny.
Well, to his brother.
Yes,
rather.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like, the ears look almost identical. The nose is, like, bent almost in the same way. And their eyebrows are, like, almost the same kind of, you know, they're protrude on the same kind of edge of the eyebrow.
Yeah.
You know, closest to the ear, it's, like, actually coming out. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing, like...
The left side of his face is kind of droopy, and I feel like the Somerton man, like, in the image I have of him in my head, like, the left side of his face is kind of droopy.
Yeah, like, it is genuinely quite a good, like...
Yeah.
match. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of stupid.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think? Is the Somerton man one of the Carls? Is he someone different altogether? Was he a spy? Was he a dude with no friends? A tourist? What's your fair dinkum rating for the Somerton man? Who do you reckon he was, and how likely do you reckon he was that?
I think fair dinkum, he was Harold Holt.
Fair dinkum, he was Harold Holt. Now that's an interesting theory. That one's an interesting connection.
But being serious, I think I am willing to say, yeah, he's Carl Webb. Just with the caveat that clearly the DNA is rough enough that this other Carl can be conceivably linked to him, with the DNA results being included, because the guy is like, it's multiple generations. I don't know how much I trust these motherfuckers at Ancestry and stuff like that. You know, they might be lying to us, but I think, you know, yeah, I think he's Carl Webb.
yeah, I'm gonna go Nair as well, because, like, that facial comparison is so close. Like, you couldn't pull somebody off the street that looked like that and have all of those similarities. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it is wild, actually. And very interesting that, you know, a lot of these developments and, you know, the finding of the Webb family did only really happen, like, recently, like in the last couple of years. You know, 5 years ago, we still had no fucking clue who this man was, and now we've got a pretty close physical comparison to someone we know existed.
Which makes no sense, because the man died in the 50s. Like, we shouldn't know more about him.
You know? And yeah,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
here we fucking are.
Here we
Because
fucking
Derek
are.
doesn't have a life.
But he does have a wife.
But he
And
does have a
congratulations,
wife.
Derek. Mazel
Congratulations,
tov.
Derek. Really happy for you.
Yeah,
All right. So, ready for our next one?
Yes.
I suppose so.
Okay. Now, I've had enough of the beach and the ocean, and certainly enough of Sydney McDonald's establishments. Let's head into the Blue Mountains for a refreshing getaway. I mean, even Grant Denyer has a property out that way. He must have something good to say about it, and maybe we can get some vacation tips. And hang on, what's this article? If you could read the next slide for me, please.
I can't, Casey. You have to do it.
Grant Denyer claims to have seen the mysterious Blue Mountains panther. Breakfast radio host Grant Denyer claims to have proof the mysterious Blue Mountains panther actually exists.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen the panther.
I was on my front porch one morning, just came running past, had one of my chickens in its mouth.
I know what I saw, man. It was a black cat that didn't look like a cat, didn't walk like a cat, walked like a panther, about 5 to 10 times.
Grant Denyer.
Grant fucking Denyer, let's go.
Grant Denyer's out here saying, I've seen this panther that lives in the Blue Mountains. You know, the one that doesn't exist. I've seen it.
I've seen it.
I've seen it. And you've seen it too. What's he doing? He's hosting Deal or No Deal now.
Nah.
Panther or no panther?
Fuck.
With Grant Denyer. Just pictures of black cats. Some of them were panthers.
God, I'd like it if one of the briefcase people just dressed up as a panther and just be like...
And
Grant, it's me.
It's just like, ah!
Not again!
Oh, you're like, you won $100,000. You won a panther? And then...
And just Red
Like,
jumps out,
"Not again."
throws people in front of him.
For over a century, residents of the Blue Mountains have claimed to see...
A century.
What?
Yeah, for over a century, residents of the Blue Mountains have claimed to see a large black feline stalking the bushland. Larger than a domestic cat.
Oh, is that the panther?
Oh my
Or
god,
even-
it's the Blue Panther. It's the Blue Mountains Panther. It's migrating north due to climate change. Archie's here to bark at it. You're larger than a domestic cat.
Larger than a domestic cat, or even any feral cat, the creature is reported to have been seen over 500 times since reports started being collected in 1998. Grainy, shaky footage of the animals has surfaced time and time again, and the New South Wales government has conducted not one, but 5 formal investigations into the claims that big cats roam our countryside.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Damn.
When?
The first was in 1999, when local wildlife officials contacted the New South Wales government advising that they had received numerous stories from locals about a large animal in the area.
1999. Sorry, they've done 5 of these in the last 26 years.
Yes.
You said 100 years they've been seeing this panther.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's
So what,
probably
they're-
a story.
They're making up for lost time.
Yes.
Man, we haven't looked into this panther thing.
We should probably check this.
We should check. It's for 75 years. What?
Well, yeah, Grant Denyer. My grandma told me
My
that this
grand-
cat was being around.
Grant Denyer, like, fucking cattle prodded them. Well, I guess Grant Denyer at this point is a teenager, which is weird to think about, in 1999. So this predates Grant Denyer.
Yeah.
But, okay, so they've done fucking 5 investigations?
Yeah. Bill Atkinson, the technical manager for exotic animals with the New South Wales Agriculture Department, wrote the following.
8 months ago, I started receiving reports from reputable people about a large, panther-size black cat being seen in the Grosse Vale area. The animal has apparently moved into the Blue Mountains National Park each summer and returned to the Grosse Vale area every winter for the last 5 or 6 years and killed a number of sheep and goats.
Damn.
The head of agriculture, Kevin Sheridan, also expressed concerns. If there really was a big cat roaming around and the government did nothing, it would be a legal nightmare. The New South Wales government commissioned Dr. Johannes Bauer, who is a big cat expert, to conduct an investigation of these claims and report on his findings. Here's the crux of his findings from a memo to the government.
Difficult as it seems to accept, the most likely explanation of the evidence is the presence of a large feline predator.
Is it Bauer with an AU or an OW?
AU.
I don't trust him.
So the government was advised to send a suitably skilled person to find the creature, but instead they sent a lone police officer and a dog. They didn't find anything.
I said fucking Russell Coit.
Oh, I would love that in a movie.
You know.
Him stuck at night with like
A panther. Stalking. Alright, so they sent a police officer and a dog to look for this potential case of large predator cat.
Yes.
In the
panther-sized
Blue
large cat.
Mountains.
Yes.
And they've sent a dude and a dog. So, okay, so I guess that to me sounds like the cops don't think there's a panther out there.
You know, so it's whatever. They don't find anything.
Panther
but
truth.
reports keep coming in. So the next investigation is in 2003, and it was opened by the Mayor of the Hawkesbury Council and the Moss Vale Rural Lands Protection Board. In the year since the first investigation, Freedom of Information requests had revealed that the government had quietly been keeping tabs on the reports of big cats. The Moss Vale Rural Lands Protection Board had been studying hair and droppings, and they believed it was possible a big cat was the culprit. However, when the 2003 investigation was finalised, they determined that there was no conclusive proof that a big old wildcat was there. But again, this didn't stop the reports from locals or the ever-present rumours of strange beasts in the bush. The next investigation was 2008, with the following conclusion.
There is no scientific evidence found during this review that conclusively proves the presence of free-ranging exotic large cats in New South Wales, but a presence cannot be discounted, and it seems more likely than not on available evidence that such animals do exist in New South Wales. What?
Shortly after, in 2009, another report was released stating,
Whilst information has been provided, there is still nothing to conclusively say a large black cat exists. So they're basically saying, like, we can't definitively prove it, but we do believe it.
They're talking about this like Scott Morrison's talking about his fucking shit. Yeah. What?
So the most recent investigation...
Is this real? You're not making this up?
So the most recent investigation into the mysterious big cat was done in 2013 by invasive species expert John Parks. He concluded that there is no evidence of a big cat in the Blue Mountains. Off the record, though, while talking to a reporter, he says he does think it's possible that a small population could exist.
What? What?
So every single
All of these dudes
investigation...
are like, I want to believe.
Every single investigation they've had is basically like, nah. I mean, maybe.
What?
So what about the evidence? Like, what's making all these people think this?
That's my exact question.
Exactly. So most of the reports are eyewitness statements, but there is some physical evidence for those who have seen the big cat. So if you want to go to your next slide, you'll see a couple of examples. I think there's some paw prints and some very grainy shots of what could be a big black cat in the bush.
Oh, that's so Australian. They put their lighter up against the
That is a big lighter for scale. That is a smudge. That is I suppose, a cat-looking smudge. There's a paw print. I mean,
and some of those, so those two images that I've got on there are stills from videos.
Did you watch the videos?
Yeah, so you do see like an animal moving.
What does it look like to you?
It kind of looks like a big black cat. But it does, like, here's the thing, right? They're also taken from like a huge distance. I'm pretty sure, I think it's even possible that one of the images that I've put in there is from a video Grant Denyer shot from his back porch.
No.
Yeah. And he's just like, it's back again.
It could just be a cat.
Yeah, it depends on how far away this animal actually is and the scale of the surrounding things, which is kind of really hard to tell because, you know, all the footage, like with anything cryptidy, is like shaky and shitty.
I guess it's like, the more I think about it, all it would take is one rich guy living out in the sticks, bringing a couple of panthers over illegally to live on his estate. I guess that...
And we'll get into it.
Oh, no.
Yes. So other more compelling evidence, which we don't have images of, are claims from a teenager in the area, Luke Walker, being attacked by the big cat and suffering lacerations in 2002.
Probably tried to turn into Luke Runner.
You know? And there was also an alpaca that was killed in 2011, and puncture wounds in its skull were 7 centimeters deep.
Holy shit.
Holy
So that's, like, pretty substantial.
Yeah, and also alpacas are tall.
Yeah.
So it would have to get up there and then...
Oh, I do want to flag, also not native to New South Wales.
So eyewitness reports have been submitted from folks from all walks of life. You've got the people in the local area, you've got doctors, police, firefighters, government officials, Grant fucking Denyer.
I can't believe Grant Denyer has said it. He's out here, he hasn't hired people. Like, just put cameras up, Grant.
But if there is a big cat or big cats in the Blue Mountains, how the fuck did they get there? And there's a few theories on this. They're all pretty much somebody had an animal in captivity and released it. This isn't as far-fetched as you might think. During the heyday of exotic animal trading, in the 18 and 1900s, Australia had its own market for the buying and selling of big cats. There were advertisements in newspapers selling cubs of all kinds to potential buyers. One theory is that an animal got loose, or the owner, suddenly realizing that a big cat does indeed get big, released it into the wild. Another theory is similar, but it regards these animals having been part of a circus and then escaping or again being released. David Waldron, writer of the book Snarls from the Tea Tree, Australia's big cat folklore,
come on, man,
says he had found reports of a handful of circus workers quitting and in an act of defiance releasing 3 captive tigers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta put them somewhere.
You know? Another option is, of course, to blame the military, as after World War II, ships returning with servicemen from North Africa and Asia just had a fucking lot of exotic animals on board.
Oh my god.
Now again, David says he found examples that one ship in particular returned with around 1,600 animals.
Oh.
Like Noah's Ark?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so it's like, okay, so it could have been like, you know, this circus with a couple of panthers. It could have been like a couple of rich guys who lived out in the Blue Mountains. Or it could have been the 1,600 animals that Australian servicemen brought back from fucking North Africa.
Yeah.
While they were plundering.
You know, and in modern times, as we were discussing, the trading of exotic animals is easier than ever given the internet and globalization. So it's also entirely possible someone got an illegal cub or several illegal cubs or had a Tiger King situation and just had all of these animals and then, like, let them fucking loose.
There's a couple and got out.
You know?
Yeah.
But that's all we really have. We have speculation, paw prints, and grainy images. So, what do you reckon? What are your theories? Do you think these big cats are out there?
This is the toughest one so far.
It is. I actually think that it's a were-panther, and Grant Daniels' family
Yes.
changed unwillingly.
Shit.
Yes.
So that's why they haven't found like a den or like shit anywhere.
Exactly.
Because they just turn into a panther for a day.
Grant, the call is
eat
coming
a
from
shit.
inside the house.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's
Okay.
just like, oh, see, like I've got evidence, but like he is also a panther. It's just he's proving that he is not the panther.
He's like, oh, I'm not the panther.
Or maybe he's got like a friend that's shooting that, or like a family member. And it's just like, yeah,
It's like, it's not me. It's not Grant.
that's it.
That's compelling. That's actually quite compelling. Because I'm stunned by this. I've never heard of even a whisper about big cats in the New South Wales Blue Mountains, like panthers in what feels like cougar territory.
You know, yeah, and like they're calling it a panther. I mean, they really just mean some of the scientific, like, you know, investigations and stuff were just like, well, it probably isn't a panther. I mean, it could be a leopard, you know, like shit like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, but Blue Mountains panther or Lithgow panther is like, you know, the terminology that's used for the idea of this big cat or this colony of big cats that are just in New South Wales, just kind of hanging out.
This is tough. This is really tough. I'm going to give it, for me, I am actually going to cop out and give it a Tony. You're not saying anything.
You're not saying anything, Tony.
Because on the one hand, I don't trust anyone. On the other hand, it does seem like everyone agrees there might be this panther out here. No one's out here saying like, nah, there's no panthers. Everyone's like, I mean, it seems like there might be a panther.
You know?
Seems like there might be a panther. I don't think there's a panther. Wouldn't make sense if there is one, but it seems like there might be one. At the end of the day, if it seems like there's a panther, then there might be a panther, but...
And that's pretty much all the conclusions are just kind of like, you know, like, oh, well, you know...
Just 2013 to now is a long time in the context of the volume of cell phone footage.
Yeah.
I just feel like... Unless maybe it's died in the intervening years. That's the other thing. If it's one panther. But you said 100 years.
Yeah. Like, there have been reports of, like, big old fucking black predatory cats in the Blue Mountains and that surrounding area, like, for 100 years. But they only started recording them, like, officially in like the late 90s, where they were like, damn, we're actually getting a lot of reports. That's crazy.
Yeah, and also when home videos were kind of a thing when it kind of first started. Because, like... From information, like, from, like, cats and shit, like, I'm pretty sure panthers, when they grow up, they go solitary, then they have kids. So, like, if there was, let's just say, 100 panthers that were brought over on a ship ages ago or 100 years ago, there'd be, like, little pockets. They're very elusive cats. Yeah. So it would be easy, like, their dens would be hard to find. They don't socialize like lions do. They don't...
Blue Mountains are very, like... dense.
Exactly. And like they're like inhospitable for people. Also like temperate wise, like I'm pretty sure they can go into pretty cold climates, but they can also go into pretty humid climates. So I'd probably say that's like also an area that they
there's
would
there's
live
big cats in pretty much all biomes.
Exactly. So like I think like that's why like scientists would say like they haven't ruled out that they couldn't do it because
they're like, look, it's entirely possible. All right. No more beaches, no more mountains, no more cities. What about the outback?
Yeah.
What's going on out in that vast and desolate stretch? What secrets can 1,000 kilometers hold? Well, if you want to go to your next slide.
Oh dear.
What
Maybe it's a nuclear explosion triggered by a Japanese death cult, for one.
What?
Fair dinkum. Just saying now.
Damn. This guy has so much hair.
Yeah, so the guy you're looking at right now is Shoko Asahara.
Yes, it is.
He is the founder and leader of Om Shinrikyo.
That's a type of yoga.
Well, Om Shinrikyo was formed in Tokyo in the 80s and started out, as a weird amount of cults do, as a yoga school.
Oh my
No,
god.
I was joking.
I'm not.
No, you're joking.
No.
And also back then it was known as Edo.
Nuh-uh, it was yoga.
No, I was talking about Tokyo.
Oh.
Wait, I was joking.
I'm not.
So this is okay. So we got a Japanese yoga cult, and this guy's doing the yoga again. So for the listener, Ciaran showed us a slide. The slide has these words on it: Japanese death cult causes nuclear explosion in outback Australia, and underneath it is a man who has so much hair.
He looks like a depressed Grimace if they were a person.
Actually, that's a really good. Yeah, if you did a humanization of Grimace, he looks kind of like Grimace, where because of the amount of hair, you can't really tell where his shoulders are. So he started a yoga cult?
Yoga, that's a stretch.
Fucking gold.
Come on, man.
Gotta get them dad jokes in there.
So, by 1989, Om Shinrikyo had gained official status as a religious organization and gathered a lot of followers from some of Japan's most elite universities.
Oh.
Their belief system seems to be your standard New Age religion shit. Curing illness through health improvement and wellness, manifesting your goals through positive thinking, and working hard at the expense of leisure. It draws from Buddhist, Hindu, and Christian mythologies to create a doomsday belief system that the world would end in nuclear apocalypse, and that Shoko Asahara, who is its founder and leader, and the man in the image that you've seen,
hairy man,
is the only person who can offer you salvation.
Damn.
The marketing around the religion itself is kind of crazy. Not only did they use ancient texts like the Pali Sutras from Buddhist tradition, but they also published manga and anime with a distinct futuristic sci-fi vibe, think kind of like Scientology, which contained a lot of conspiracy content.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
While their practices are still kind of unknown, it's rumoured that followers would take hallucinogens and partake in weird physical trials, like being hung upside down or being administered shock therapy.
Hot.
It's unclear to me how the behaviour went from controversial and kooky to crazy violent, but the founder and leader is likely to blame.
you don't say. No,
So-
he's just like trying to hold it back. He's like, you guys are going insane. We were just a yoga studio. What happened to that? Everyone's hanging upside down taking acid.
Yeah. I think, shocking somebody on mushrooms or acid would really do something to their brain.
Yeah, it's like, we're just trying to get more flexible.
So, in the same year that they got their official religious status, which is 1989, the cult was accused of murdering a fellow member who was trying to get out. In that same year, a lawyer who'd been threatening them with a lawsuit disappeared along with his family. 6 years later, it was found that the group had murdered them.
Is that all in Japan?
This is still in Japan.
Okay.
In 1993, the group attempted to assassinate a satirical cartoonist who had taken aim at them, but ultimately failed. Also in 1993, they attempted to cause an anthrax attack in Tokyo by spraying a strain from their headquarters rooftop. Kind of like a villain. Again,
Yeah.
ultimately failed, as the strain they used wasn't the kind that causes death.
Oh my god.
Clearly not having a good year, the cult begins research into nerve agents, like sarin.
It sounds like they fell off because they got the lawyer and then they couldn't get the cartoonist and then they fucked up like a mass casualty incident.
You know?
Like, it just sounds like they're overthinking it a little bit. Like, how they probably got that lawyer by just shooting him.
Yeah. I think they're probably trying to make it too complicated. But in 1994, after several failed assassination attempts using sarin, they finally found success. Using a refrigerator truck, cult members drove through the neighbourhood of judges who were presiding over a case against them and released a cloud of sarin. The incident killed 8 people and injured 500. This is also the year they attempted to break into a Mitsubishi Heavy Industries factory to steal technical documents on military weapons. Continuing into 1995, the cult had a spate of successful and unsuccessful assassinations using sarin and the nerve agent VX. The Japanese police at this point had been building a case against the cult and were preparing a raid on its base. Catching wind of this, Shinrikyo put into action a large-scale terror attack. On the 20th of March, 1995, cult members released a nerve agent, most similar to sarin, into 5 trains of Tokyo's subway system. 13 people were killed, 54 were seriously injured, and nearly 1,000 people were affected by the attack. Some estimates put up to 6,000 people being impacted, because authorities think a lot of people might not have come forward. And based on who would have been using the trains, like, there has to have been more people who were, like, less affected than,
Mildly
the most.
Impacted. Yeah.
But were just like, I'm not getting involved.
That's got a little case of sarin.
It's fine. This attack didn't deter police, who proceeded to raid compounds across the country and unearth stockpiles of chemical weapons, drugs, artillery, explosives, and a military helicopter. There were enough ingredients in their arsenal to create an amount of sarin that could kill 4 million people.
Fuck.
Damn.
They also had kept cells to hold prisoners, and those who were still alive were rescued by police during the raids. This wasn't the end of the cult's activities, though, and they were desperate now and began acting out. The chief of the National Police Agency was shot, but survived. A burning bag holding a hydrogen cyanide device was found and extinguished at a train station, with authorities revealing it contained enough chemicals to kill 10,000 people. Other undetonated cyanide devices were found at other train stations.
Yeah, right.
A parcel bomb mailed to the governor of Tokyo exploded in his secretary's hand, injuring her severely. And on that same day, Shoko Asahara, the cult's leader, was arrested.
More like Shoko Asahara.
He and several other high-ranking members of the cult were executed in 2018. However, the cult does still remain active, though less centralised. But how does this fit into Australia?
I was about to ask. I was like, wait, the story's already over. We haven't even got here.
Cast your mind back to the cult's activities in 1993. A failed assassination and a failed biological terror attack. It's a rough patch for the cult, as we all mentioned. Their solution? Let's find a compound in rural Australia we can hang out in and test a bunch of chemical weapons. Kiyohide Hayakawa, the deputy leader of Shinrikyo, arrived in Australia in April 1993. He notes that the country has a high quality of uranium ore. The cult purchases the Bunjawan Sheep Station, located in the middle of nowhere, Western Australia. The closest capital city is Perth, which is 800 kilometres away, and the nearest major settlement is Kalgoorlie, which is 350 kilometres away. The closest population of any kind is a township called Lenora, and that's about 180 kilometres south of the property. And I've got a little map for you to have a look at.
Maps. Oh, that's just fucking nowhere.
Yeah, that is literally the middle of
Bunjawan
nowhere.
Station.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's so far from Kalgoorlie, which is so far from anything.
Yeah, like it's truly in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Here's some other towns. Meekatharra, Wiluna. We've got the Little Sandy Desert. There's Norseman. Norseman? The fuck is Norseman? Yeah, we're like, this is just like terrain images, but that is desert.
Yeah.
That's just like desert. I mean, it looks like it's on an oasis or whatever, but it's very desert looking.
So the following month, that makes it May of 1993, a mysterious seismic event took place south of Bunjawan. Fuck, I have to decide how to say it. Bunjawan. Being in a relatively unpopulated part of the country, it was only witnessed by a few long-haul truck drivers and prospectors who were in the area. They claimed to have felt a large shockwave, heard a low-frequency sound, and seen a fireball in the sky. At this time, there were reports from a nearby observatory that an asteroid had been sighted travelling in that direction, but no evidence of impact was found. It could have been a mining explosion, given there are mines out that way. However, if so, it would have been the largest ever recorded mining explosion at that time, estimated to be 170 times larger than the biggest recorded.
Damn.
Or it could have been an earthquake. The size seems typical for Western Australia, but we will get back to this. In September, a group of scientists from Shinrikyo travelled to Australia with a shit ton of equipment and chemicals. They were searched upon arrival because it's kind of very suspicious and weird, and they were found...
Sorry, you guys are a yoga studio?
Yeah. And...
This is you've got a nuclear detonator. It's yeah, we're trying to reach enlightenment.
They were found to have been transporting hydrochloric acid disguised as hand soap, ammonium chloride, sodium sulfate, perchloric acid, ammonium water, a mechanical digger, picks, petrol generators, gas masks, respirators, and shovels.
Yeah, it's yoga.
It's
Why
yoga.
Are you
Why the fuck are you questioning
This
it?
is, look, I know you don't understand, but this is mysterious Oriental medicine.
Also, acid would work as soap, technically speaking. I'm pretty sure it would clean it pretty well.
It's a fucking antibacterial.
Nothing can survive.
So the chemicals were confiscated, but all the tools were okayed, so that's nice.
Yeah, well, look, you can't have these chemicals, but you're allowed to be here. We're happy to have you here, but you can't keep the chemicals. We're not going to ask anything about it.
Because Australia is a pro-mining country.
Listen, we don't know about all of this yoga business, but we want to respect your mining interests.
Exactly. So the group purchases new chemicals in Australia, and they set up... and they set up a research facility at Bunjawan. Now, it's important to note that Bunjawan at this time was a sheep station, and so it had a lot of sheep. The Australian government noted that the station wasn't operating correctly in 1994 and advised the group to hire a manager to take care of the livestock. Om Shinrikyo agreed, but stipulated they were the only ones allowed to shear the sheep, and I'm sure that's not relevant.
You're sure?
The research undertaken there, like most things, is secretive and debated. What we do know is that after Om Shinrikyo's sarin attack in Tokyo, this is in 1995, the Australian police were pretty nervous about what might have been going on in Bunjawan. An investigation in 1995 found computers, lab equipment, and most importantly, chemically contaminated soil and the bodies of sheep who had been exposed to sarin. They also found evidence that the cult had been mining uranium on the property.
It's crazy, just like a group of independent people. It's like, yeah, we're just starting up weapons manufacturing.
You know?
Like atomic weapon manufacturing. We're mining uranium. It's like, again, you guys are an exercise class.
You know it. So back to the seismic event in May 1993. This would have taken place before the team of scientists arrived from Japan, but there were members of Om Shinrikyo in Australia purchasing Bunjawan at the time. If you remember, the deputy leader, Kiyohide Hayakawa, had noted that Australia was rich in uranium. This information is important to Om Shinrikyo, especially in light of the revelation that they had, around this time, hired Russian nuclear engineers. The conspiracy theory I posit to you is that in May 1993, the death cult Om Shinrikyo detonated a nuclear explosive in outback Australia. So we know that the explosion, meteor, earthquake event thing happened. We know that Om Shinrikyo had recently purchased property near where the event took place. And we know they were interested in Australia's uranium deposits. And we know that Bunjawan was used for chemical weapons testing. Now, because of Om Shinrikyo's notoriety globally, it was the US Senate that launched an investigation into their global activities prior to the Tokyo sarin attack. Their investigation showed that a meteor could have been responsible for the event if it had made landfall, though notably, no evidence of a crater has been found. They also said that they had information advising that the group might not have even been in the country at the time of the event. Their findings indicated that it was unlikely the group was responsible. But what do you think? How does the nuclear blast in outback Australia by a Japanese cult measure on the fair dinkum rating?
What are we rating? Because,
How likely it would be.
Do you reckon they blew up? Do you reckon they did a nuclear explosion in outback Australia?
I think there was a nuclear explosion in outback Australia. I think Om Shinrikyo was there working with explosives. However, I think the nuclear explosion was either United States, United Kingdom, or Australian nuclear testing. And the Om Shinrikyo aspect of it is a red herring. As is the asteroid.
I like it.
That being said, it's a very convenient red herring, because I also think that Om Shinrikyo... You know what? Actually, there were 2 explosions.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I reckon fair dinkum.
I would describe him absolutely, though, as fair dinkum.
I reckon that Om Shinrikyo did a big explosion in the outback. I reckon it was probably something that they were doing at the behest of the United States. No, that sounds crazy.
Well, the whole thing sounds crazy.
The whole thing sounds crazy.
That's the thing for me, where it's like, it sounds kind of bizarre, right? But then they were genuinely testing like
Yeah.
chemical weapons there.
So the question really
and they were
is-
super interested in uranium and nuclear stuff, and they had been talking with Russians, being like, okay, so how do we? I think
And there's an asteroid.
there's also an asteroid in the area as well, so it's like that's also incredibly possible. Them not finding a crater is like, okay, the outback is kind of big. But it is kind of weird that they didn't find impact if it caused like that kind of
Big
seismic
noise,
event. Yeah.
big fireball. It sounds like if it's like there's a bunch of different truckers who've also a fireball, they all should have been able to say like which direction it was.
You know?
If it's a big fireball, you'd be able to see that from the sky. We're talking about the 90s, like they've got planes and stuff. It's the
Yeah.
outback. How bad's visibility gonna be?
Yeah.
It's just red dirt. I think for me it all just comes down to like I don't want to discount the possibility that someone else is doing nuclear testing
That's
in the
reasonable.
outback, and those people doing the testing would also be in charge of the investigation. You did mention that the United States Army.
They sure did. The US was very interested in the events of the of what the cult had been up to.
How much of that is like we need to stop the cult, and how much is like we'd be interested in knowing what they found out?
You know?
And also like yeah, it's convenient. Like oh, there's this crazy like chemical weapons Japanese yoga death cult in the outback. We could probably get away with saying that they're responsible for this big explosion.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever been able to like get an interview with or find any like diary entries from the asteroid?
From the asteroid.
Yeah.
The asteroid has been notoriously private, unfortunately.
Damn.
She's shy.
She's very shy.
That's look. I'm gonna put that out. Well, the thing is, Ciaran, like fair dinkum, but I'm not quite sure what.
Casey, your thoughts?
So, to turn uranium into something that can be used in a nuclear weapon takes a lot of effort and a lot of machinery. So if they're saying the explosion went off before they got the diggers and all that shit there, and they didn't find evidence of anything turning the uranium into usable substance, then I don't think it's likely, because it's not something you can just do easily.
Fair.
So if they already had the Russian scientists there, and like they didn't just buy it, like we're talking about a couple of months in, then possibly, yeah. But like then again, I feel like the motive is strong with that. So like
That's a really good point, actually. The timeline was pretty short for them.
It was basically they purchased the station. A month later, this big old explosion thing happens, and then like a couple months after that is when all the scientists with the gear come. But there are members of the cult in Australia, just not like the dudes who've got all the shit.
I was gonna say, I'm not sure what the effect of, like, let's just say if they decided to use, like, dynamite or, like, an explosive to open up whatever mine they were trying to open up. I'm not sure how uranium reacts to that.
I have no clue.
Yeah, so, like, it might have been, like, an explosion where the uranium went off in some capacity, but I don't think they could have had a nuclear weapon ready.
That's a really good point.
I think that's very well thought out.
I think that adds more credence to my theory then that there was an unrelated nuclear explosion.
And they're just like, oh, fuck, people are going to hear about this. Oh my god, is that a cult?
Are you?
Oh, thank fuck.
Sorry, this is a weapons cult? This is great.
This is so good for me.
We barely need to do any work to throw them under the bus for this. Tell me they killed a lawyer? This is fantastic news.
This is great news.
Yeah, or, I mean, because the other, and I hate to besmirch the battlers out there, but you can't really trust, like, the tales of a trucker or a prospector. Like, oh, you know, there was an explosion out here on this property.
Fucking out here.
Big ass fireball in
Big ass fireball because they thought there was a lot of rich mineral resources under. That's why people were fighting over. Like, these are not people you can trust. But they all said it. There was a big boom. Everyone seems to agree there was a big boom.
Yeah.
Seems crazy. How often is there an asteroid around? I guess is my question. Like, is it like that was the only time there'd been an asteroid that close in the last 100 years? Or was it like, yeah, there's our weekly asteroid that goes past?
Well, that's a pretty good question. I have no information on that.
That's a lot to ask. Yeah. All right. So, what would your rating then be, Casey, on our scale?
I think I'm gonna just say yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah, bullshit.
Like, I feel like they probably are the reason behind the explosion. I don't believe it was a nuclear weapon, and I believe their intention was to make a nuclear weapon. I think they have evidence of them entering the country and bringing Russian scientists and all of those chemical surprises, hand soap.
Pre 9/11, airport security is fucking weird.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm glad, like, that's what border security should be for. Like, people bringing in barrels of hand soap going, oh, it's just hand soap. And it's like, why do you have
And they're just like,
scientists?
hey guys, we're just going to have a quick look. And they're like, this is hydrochloric acid.
Yeah, again,
So you don't have any clothes with you. Like, this is just in your suitcase raw, sloshing around in there.
Oh, I should mention as well, this is a thing that I hadn't included, but Shogo Asahara, the leader, came down with the scientists for like the, you know, setup of the facility and stuff.
He came here?
He came here. He didn't stay. He like went back to Japan, but he came for the setup of the facility, and brought with him were 5 15-year-old girls.
Oh.
Without their parents.
Oh, he's a cult leader, all right.
Yeah.
And they all had a suitcase filled with uranium.
You know? And those girls, hydrochloric acid.
All right.
Yeah, so, you know, just another little tidbit. It was full cult shit. Like,
Fucking
full cult shit.
Useless ass airport security. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, these are your nieces.
Just like, yeah, these are my 5 underage best friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, and sorry, you're off to do what? It's like, I'm off to do yoga in the desert.
It's like, okay.
And the soap?
Gotta stay clean.
You gotta stay clean. There's sheep out there, you know?
There's
Sheep
sheep
shit
out there.
all the
Out there.
time.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's
Crazy.
It is
Yeah.
kind of insane. It's something I'd never heard about before. So I guess to kind of sum up the 5 conspiracy theories that we've looked at today, we had ScoMo shits himself at Engadine Macca's,
Absolutely happened.
the disappearance of Harold Holt.
I mean,
He
you
did
know,
disappear, but
fair
like, do
dinkum.
we think, you know, it was like just a...
Yeah,
Nothing
no, I
suspect.
think either they had crazy blackmail or his own hubris.
Yeah.
Okay, the Somerton man.
Yeah.
His identity, he could be Carl Webb, he could be Carl Halbin, he could be someone totally different.
I reckon Carl Webb, but like, yeah. I think it's Carl Webb.
Yeah, that's fair. The Blue Mountains Panther, is it out there?
You're not saying anything, Tony.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty much fair. I think it's so easy to prove that like a panther could exist and multiply in that climate if they were put in there, and you've just given us multiple reasons.
But all the panther people are like, there's no evidence there's a panther. But
there's so much land out there, and they're like an elusive cat. And also, I also think Werepanther is an actual good story.
It's a pretty good one.
Werepanthers, I would say Werepanthers as likely as the rest.
And it's Grant Denyer and his family.
And it's Grant Denyer.
But it is Grant Denyer as well. Like, as much as that's
Australia's sweetheart, Grant Denyer.
yeah, but also Australia's most notorious fraudster, Grant Denyer. Do you know the amount of times he got people excited to open up one of those briefcases?
He's a fucking liar.
There's just $5
it's
in
like
there.
He's perfected the Monty Hall paradox.
He has.
He's a paradox panther.
He's a
Panther.
Grant Panther.
Fuck, it's all coming together.
Panther,
And then,
Pant Denyer.
I think we got to the bottom of this.
We got to the bottom of this.
Exactly.
Oh, and then, sorry.
And our last theory, obviously, is the nuclear blast caused by Aum Shinrikyo in Western Australia.
We have complicated thoughts about this.
Very
I'm
reasonable.
going to, I guess, summarize mine as, they were there and there was a nuclear blast.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. I think there was a nuclear blast, and their intention was to create nuclear weapons. I don't think the time frame gives them enough time to do so.
To have been the ones to do it.
But yeah, I'm glad that they, stopped it while they did.
And maybe it was like, the creature who lives under all the roof farted or whatever. And the shockwaves went all the way to WA.
A lot of people fart when they do yoga.
A lot of people
That's
fart
true.
when they do yoga.
That is so true. And that finishes up our episode for today. I hope you enjoyed listening to these conspiracy theories. I thought they were pretty fun.
That was great.
So I hope you liked them.
Great time.
Some familiar ones, some new ones.
I'm stunned by the panther.
Yeah, I love the panther.
I'm really excited about the panther.
I said this off pod, but I would have done the Tasmanian tiger or thylacine, but I am such a big believer that it is out there.
I think we're in
And
consensus
I would
agreement.
have so much, I would have to go into so much detail and find all of these. I would have to do my own genuine journalistic investigation. I might even be like, well, we have to go out to the bush and see what we can find. It would be like a full thing, because I fucking love that guy. I fucking love that guy.
I think, yeah.
We're
We're all
so
in
cheeky.
agreement. Like, we all love the thylacine and believe it completely. I'm just worried that we go out there and find that, Japanese guy and his 15-year-old girlfriends.
Yeah, and they've got a panther.
They've got a panther.
And they've all shit themselves.
They've all shot the panther.
Harold Holt's body is there. And it's just scary,
And the
And the Somerton man, he's
how does he fit into this?
He's a were-panther.
He's the panther.
He's the panther. He left his mortal body behind to become a panther.
And that explains the half-done cigarette.
Exactly.
He was halfway through a cigarette, he's like, oh, not now, not now!
And he's just like, ah! Exactly.
Yeah, they don't mention how, and also found, next to the Somerton man's body was a ball of yarn.
They never want to talk about the ball of yarn.
They never want to talk about the ball of yarn.
Fucking pathetic.
That's what the juicy fruits are for, after he's mauled the person, he's like, I've got to get the taste out
He's
of
just
my
like,
mouth.
oh god, I smell too much like flesh. Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Thank you for coming along.
Great time. We'll be back next week. Thanks, Ciaran.
Thank you so much, Ciaran.
Of
so
course.
Such a fun episode.
I hope you all had fun. Once again, if you are interested in the work that we do and you'd like to support us, you can follow us on Patreon at patreon.com/shouldntacome. That's SHOULDNTACOME. You can email us at shouldntacome, spelt exactly the same, at gmail.com.
Imagine if we spelled one of them differently.
That would be fucked. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/shouldntacome. And for Yanni's demo album, please visit YanniX, that's YANIX.bandcamp.com.
Yay. We'll be back next week to talk about the shady tax lawyer behind Australia's support of Israel. Or childcare. Just some sunny, rosy topics.
Yay!
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.